Broadcasting live from the basement of the Pentagon. This is WTF Nation Radio.
It's 3 a.m. and the sirens are going off. Another rocket attack. I've got my boots and got my ammo in my 50-pound sack. A 100 boys headed to war in this world unknown. The only peace of mind I've got are these letters from home. Another day has come and gone. Another night I'm all alone. I didn't think I'd be this far out here in Kandahar. Well, most of us, we made it home, but we never came back. When we close our eyes at night, we hear a rocket attack. I've tried to talk and tell you about it, but it ain't the same. All these thoughts that run through my head, well, they can't be tamed. Another day has come and gone. Another night I'm all alone. I didn't think I'd be this far out here in Kandahar. Another day has come and gone. Another night I'm all alone. I didn't think I'd be this far out here. We ain't far from Kandahar.
is the right of all sentient beings.
This is a public service announcement from C.T. Fletcher. I will not contribute to the pussification of a nation. Get your punk ass out there and work for it, motherfucker.
Let's roll.
Morning, Sergeant Major.
How do you know what kind of goddamn day it is?
Beautiful morning, Sergeant Major.
Are you a fucking weatherman now?
You're listening to Sergeant's Time on WTF Nation Radio.
Break them off something. Yeah. It's time. Sitting here rocking and rolling the guns, and I kind of got freaking in the guns once again. Is Spanky.
Hey, y'all.
What is going on, Spanky? How you been?
Oh, much better today. There was sunshine.
There was some sun shining and stuff happenings and stuff like that.
Yes. I almost started day drinking, but I forgot it was Thursday.
You got about to say. Really?
Not do that.
Day drinking, man. If I did not have things to do, I would. Man, day drinking. Oh yeah, never mind. I'll stop. I'll be quiet. I won't say anything about what I'll be doing. At any rate, yeah. So welcome to Sergeant's Time. Guys, this is already the 5th of March. 5th of March.
1, 2, 3, 4.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5th. I plead the 5th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th.
Oh my god.
Wait, isn't like some 4-day weekends coming up? We have why don't we have some units having a 4-day weekend this weekend, and then units having a 4-day weekend next weekend? It's like 3 weekends of 4-day weekends. So if you were lucky to be in any organizations that have those 4-day weekends, and good shout out to you, man. That's awesome. It's good shit. Yeah. So real quick, well, thank you so much. Appreciate the compliment. Here, I got an issue. Okay, look. We tagged a special unit.
An issue?
I got an issue. No, actually, I have the whole subscription of issues. I don't just have one issue. I have the whole freaking subscription. There's an organization out there. Well, have you guys been paying attention to the main page lately? There's been a post about somebody going on emergency leave. And our resident, J1 and assistant NCYC, Spanky. They are the J1s of the J1s. They handle the J1s-ness. And look, I don't know. What's the best way to say this? Hey, if you have a soldier that's got an Red Cross message, and especially it relates to a death in the family, it's kind of like a good idea to go ahead and just say, yeah, go. Rather than deal with drama and rather than deal with anything else that has anything to do with a specific individual that you think is what is right at this time when someone is in their bereavement or in a very upset over the loss of a family member, the last thing you need to be is the asshole or assholette in charge to not let the individual go on leave. Case in point.
It really is that easy.
It really is. That was matter of fact, you don't have to go to Staples to get a that was easy big red button to hit. That was easy. You can actually, believe it or not, as leadership, as commanders and first sergeants and battalion commanders and command sergeants majors and brigade commanders and brigade sergeants, even at the division level, you actually have that power, that easy to be that easy. Is it that easy? It is that easy, and I'll tell you why. And mind you, the posts that we have on U.S. Army WTF Moments are run by obviously the admins at the main page, and then of course we share stuff with them as well, and WTF Nation Radio, WTF Nation, U.S. Army WTF Moments videos, and all that, and the main page too. Now here is the thing: if you have the big boss, if you have the commanding general of your organization stepping out of the way and say, you need to let me do this. Hey Bailey, what's up? Hey, what's up, Branko? Hey, what's up, Holly? Hey, what's up, Joe? What's up? Oh man, the greetings. How y'all doing? And no, I did not bring enough snacks because me and Spanky have the snack rack inside the truck, and we're rolling guns up. So get your own snacks. We have our own shit. But when the commanding general of U.S. Army WTF Moments comes in and says, I'm posting something, we kind of like grab the popcorn and and look at the post, and we're like, oh, wow. So, now I'll just read the post what the biggest bosses of the bosses had sent. Another day of fighting in the good fight for the WTF nation. We had a soldier that received a Red Cross message for the death of his mother on 2 March 2020. The soldier immediately notified his chain of command, 24380A, Warriors, tagged in the posts, of course, and submitted his request for 30 days of emergency leave since he was forward. The battalion XO stated he wouldn't process for 30 days and to resubmit for 14 days. The soldier requested to meet with the BC to discuss and seek clarification. The BC informed that they would not support 30 days because the death was not an immediate family member and instructed the service member to resubmit for 14 days. Let me say that again. Received a Red Cross message that the death of his mother. Now forward to the next paragraph of the BC informed him that they would not support 30 days because the death was not an immediate family member. After he got married, his wife and his kid are immediate family members, and parents are no longer considered immediate family. Yes, we can't make this up. This is the boss writing. We cannot make this up. After hesitation, the soldier resubmitted his leave on 4 March 2020 just to make an attempt to get to the funeral. However, the BC didn't sign it and had the XO sign a leave form to submit for approval to 108th ADA Brigade. As of this morning, which was 6 hours ago, the leave form was still not signed and approved, thus making the soldier unable to secure a flight home. The earliest flight will be tomorrow, and that is over 80 hours since notification. It is incredible, mind you, this is the big boss talking. Is it incredible that we can put 18,000 soldiers anywhere in the world in 18 to 36 hours, but we take 96 hours to move a single soldier back home on emergency leave? We reached out to the brigade, and they provided the following response. Quoteth the unit. The time it took to finish this request was inadequate. We don't hold off on pushing paperwork through the appropriate channels. We don't take these requests lightly, and we try to push them as quickly as possible. There were errors in dealing with this particular incident that will be discussed and used as lessons learned. The soldier now has an approved leave form and is awaiting a flight home tomorrow. It is unfortunate that the rest of the family will had to delay the funeral and the grieving process due to this inadequate process. What say you, Spanky?
First of all, it takes about 2 minutes to approve a leave form. It doesn't have to be signed by a brigade commander. That brigade commander took the authority away from the company commander. That's it. That's the first problem right there. That company commander and all company commanders should be able to have this say that their soldiers can go on leave. That's the first thing that irritates the fuck out of me. Next, what if it was their mother? Is that not your immediate family anymore just because you got married? Oh, that, like, it's literally in the reg. It's all written in black and white for them. They can say what, immediate family member covers. And then even if you do have to get it to the brigade commander, like, it still shouldn't take long. I mean, you can type a leave form in about 3 minutes if you're a slow typer, and you can, like, walk over there. Hey, this kid needs to go on emergency leave. His mom died. Like, there should be no single point of failure in the Army that one soldier is going to make the difference in your mission. And I'm just, I'm glad they finally signed it, but it's just unacceptable that it took that long. And it took the nation to get involved to make it happen.
Well, I mean, the big boss, the WTF, the U.S. Army WTF Moments, the CG, the boss has, like straight up, he can call, like, dudes, like, he can call generals names and stuff, like their first names and stuff, because he knows them. Like, he knows them and stuff. So it's kind of like, ooh. So here's my thing. It doesn't matter if you have a death in the family and it's something at that point, and it doesn't matter, and it's usually none of your fucking business. If that is a soldier's mother, father, uncle, grandfather, whatever, it doesn't matter. If it's a death, you don't know what this. Just because you probably had a cookie cutter clean life in your life does not mean that someone else's grandfather, mother, aunt, uncle could have raised that child or raised that soldier to become that person they are today. You don't know that. You don't. You just, what you do is you get that paperwork and I'm like, oh shit, my bad, my condolences, I'm gonna get you out of here, and that's it.
Well, in every overseas unit I've been in, they always, like, as part of in processing, that's when we'll ask, do you have anybody that's local parentis, that raised you, that isn't your biological parents, step parents, married to your mom, dad, or whatever, just for that reason. So if something comes up, because when you're overseas, it's not like you're paying for it all on your own dime. So there's that step in it too. So they ask as part of in processing, like, they do the memo right there that, so and so was raised by so and so. So in case something happens during your overseas tour, that's already done. There's no question about it. So obviously there's no need for this because this was the soldier's mother, but that should be part, like I don't know of a unit that wouldn't do that.
I don't know of a unit that wouldn't do that either. And, if it doesn't matter if what would be is like normally would be like a rapid. Here's the thing. Would have been rapid to have, like, have you ever had any organizations? Have there been any other organizations that do like their leave forms for somebody in a situation like that? You've done that before, right? Have you not done like I guess I can say this because I'm out now. I've put soldiers on fucking planes without leave forms just to get them the fuck out of there. Yeah. And in the units policy would be like, hey, 14 days. I'll tell you what, let me get the fuck out of here. Get this 14-day leave. Don't worry about how many fucking days you're going on. Just get up, get out of here. You got to leave form. You're out. Go. Bye. Let's get you out of here. We get him out of there or her out of there, and the next thing you know, they will have that leave form updated, or you can call to extend if needed.
Right. Even the last time I had to go on emergency leave, the incident happened, like, it was around midnight. I called my boss at the time, my direct supervisor was a captain. I called him. I'm like, I need to go on emergency leave, and I need to go, like, right now. He's like, give me 20 minutes. He called the company commander, and told the company commander what's going on. He called me back. He's like, all right, you're good. I'll get the leave form done tomorrow. And I left. The only thing the commander was like, hey, when are you driving? I'm like, I have insomnia. I'm fine, because I was only driving about 6 hours. But that was it. Like, and that's how it pretty much should be. It's like, I didn't need a Red Cross message, and Red Cross message is not required. Like, if soldier tell you his mother died, it's, right. I'm
What's
sure
going
they're
on?
not lying.
What's going on, Seth, in the YouTube chat? I haven't seen anybody in there rolling around there in a while. How y'all doing in there? What's it look like? Is it pretty empty in the YouTube chat? I'm glad you're in there, man. Thank you for saying hi. Yeah. So yeah, it's one of those things where I'm kind of like, yeah. Exactly that, Pooks. Throw some extensions in them shits. It's easy stuff. Easy stuff, man. Easy stuff. A lot of information could have been. Now, I'm going to tell you a story right quick. In 2008, on March 6th, tomorrow, is the anniversary of my father's death. I was deployed. I knew he was dying of Lou Gehrig's disease. So he was fading out. Everybody knew that he was dying. Everybody knew he had an issue and all stuff. There's some drama that happened before that, but this is a death in the family. We'll talk about the death in the family, not everything before that. I was out doing stuff. I was deployed, and he passed away. So tomorrow is the anniversary of my father's death. Within minutes, my organization was able to get me up and out and get me a flight out. That it was almost like immediately that night. No issues whatsoever. I applaud, and I'm so happy that I had, and I was lucky. I'm fortunate to have had the area where I was deployed and the unit that I was assigned to and attached to the unit that got me out of country, to the unit that got me to another deployment area to get out into the States, to get me to the States, all the way where I needed to go to be with my family. So that right there means a ton to a soldier. The last thing I was worried, like I said, I knew he was passing away. I knew he was dying. So, I just didn't know when. But the last thing a soldier needs, especially since the Chief of Staff of the Army put out this life-work balance stuff, this work-life balance stuff, the last thing you need to do is put that stuff out. And then not commanders follow it.
Yeah, that's the key right there. It's like everybody's all talks about family first and family
right.
this until it's time to actually put your family first.
Right. So I'll be honest with you. Well, thanks, man. Thanks, Seth. exactly how are these units making that's supposed to be something so simple, and it acts like their nuts are getting caught in a ceiling fan. Exactly that, Recruiter Times. You know, it was just irony that it was just that this happened today, and I'm just thinking about, you know, that it's, you know, tomorrow is the anniversary of my father's death, and I'm just thinking, in 2008, yeah, 2008. So I was like, holy shit, how the hell? And I was deployed forward, okay, and I was able to get up and out and everything else. Units are supposed to have these SOPs and shit like that already locked in low. The last time I checked, Spanky, I think we've been in Infinity War for what, almost 20 years now? I mean,
yeah, we're getting there.
We're getting there, yeah. So I think there would be some sort of issue with that, you know, whatever. Hey, you know what? That incident shaped me even more as a leader because of the individuals that were out there that helped me out. Now, there were some cases, there were some stories in there, and I read some of the comments in there. Do you remember when the Army posted how did the Army change you, or how were you affected by the Army? And did you see that post on Twitter and all that? This is our. If you look at the comments, I'm just reading some of the comments in here. You know, and there was one comment here that I'm going to read, and it just like, wow. There's some good comments, and there's some horrid comments. One comment says, when my brother was murdered a year ago, my command said to go home and we'll take other DA-31. I was gone 41 days, and my command still said, take the time I needed to get back to work. I will always be grateful of my current command. That right there. So again, there was other comments in there that just, it's crazy. There was one guy in there who's an influencer, who's a game streamer. That one dude, Sean, posted that work-life balance freaking graphic that freaking the chief of staff of the Army did. So
and it should be like that.
Right.
I mean, like I said, if one person is affecting your mission, you've already fucked it up, because anything could happen to one person. Like, just let them go, and that they'll be like the one that puts that comment that remembers what their command did for them at that time.
Right. Oh.
Not the one that's going to remember, oh, they wouldn't let me go home, or it took 3 days to get a fucking leave form approved. Oh, shut up.
Right. Right. So let me read this one story about another one. The same thing happened to me when I was in Iraq in 2008. My mom was dying of stage 4 lung cancer. I had 2 Red Cross messages since brigade, and they didn't want to send me back. My BC, my first sergeant, my CO went to my brigade and pleaded with the first sergeant, pleaded with the brigade commander. I got on the first thing smoking. Then she passed over on emergency leave for a flight out of Kuwait. Got passed over on a flight on a flight out of Kuwait. I ended up not leaving until the next afternoon. I called my mom to talk to her. Then later when I called, I was forwarded to the chaplain. The doctor told me over the phone that my mom had passed. I had missed being with her over her final hours, and it was the hardest thing I ever had to do by myself by the time I got to the hospital. I'm telling you what, this, you know, everyone talks about some of the issues. The one that really pissed me off, the one that got me so enraged. This is what got me really enraged when I read this. One of the comments was, "This is so sad that they treat soldiers this way. When my son passed away, my husband's chain of command told him just to have our baby cremated. It would be faster and less hassle."
Tell me your unit. Let me go.
Yeah, right. No, that's what I'm saying. This is some of the shit that is. This is some of the shit that is within our formations. You don't have to. You don't. I'm not bullshit. You don't have to worry about. I'm reading these comments verbatim from the post that was originally posted 6 hours ago. You want to hear the stories just like what it was? You remember what I was telling you about that? How did the Army impact you, and how did it impact you? Read that right there. And you will have 1,200 comments you have so many freaking comments in this. It's unreal. It's over in the thousands just about. Let me read it. Let me hear how many. There is 1,528 comments and climbing. 2,000 comments now. My bad. I just refreshed. So there are 2,044 comments in this right now. You don't even want to go in there and just check it out and just say, hey, you know, I'm so sorry that I went in there myself today, and that's what I've been doing most of the day, was just going inside and picking a comment and looking at it and apologizing. Literally, I'm sorry. I'm, as a non-commissioned officer, I was just shaking my head. Shaking my head at this. That this was happening.
Like every single leader should just think, what if it was you in that situation? That's
if it
like,
was,
would you tell your wife?
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Hey, let's just go cremate the baby because that's fastest and easiest, and I can get back to fucking work. Like, no, you fucking wouldn't. So you're wrong.
Right.
It's like, I can't even believe that, like, that those words would come out of someone's mouth. Like, oh, no, we have FTX, we have layouts. You can't go on leave.
There's another one here that's gonna. I mean, you read these comments, guys and gals. WTF Nation, just go ahead and take a look at that post and just read it. We're not deleting the comments, by the way. We're not deleting the comments. There's another one here where my wife had a miscarriage, first son, stillborn, and right after the baby was delivered, not even an hour, my platoon sergeant told me to report to an APFT.
That's when I think I would just have to do what my rank can handle and tell someone to go fuck themselves.
Right.
And if that's what's going to get me in trouble, then that's just what gets me in trouble.
So this last one I'm going to read because I'm literally appreciate it, Seth. Another one that's got me the ass comes from and I'm gonna tell you right now, Fort Riley, you're gonna get put on blast. There's a lot of things going on at Fort Riley. Fort Riley's gonna get put on blast big time. So stand by for that. This one right here is out of Fort Riley. 2016, I went through the same thing while I was going through an MEB on Rear D. The commander didn't see why 30 days was necessary. He would only give me 7 days to drive from Fort Riley to Tampa Bay with my wife, a 5-year-old, and a 2-year-old, and a 1-year-old. I told him that was unacceptable, and I got told to take it or leave it. I managed to get a 7-day extension when we buried my mother on the last day of leave. He also had my NCO call me while I was home to see if I would be turning in my ETS award. I told him as soon as I finished writing my mother's eulogy. I have been trying to maintain and not launch the Death Star on fucking Fort Riley, dude. I'm really there's some Jim Laporta asked me some stuff about Fort Riley and Fort Hood and all that. There's some stories that are coming out that the AP because he no longer works at Newsweek. He works at the AP. He's got something brewing. I can't wait for him to come on again or talk about it or whatever. Yeah, how is this? How in the hell? I'm gonna tell you right now, Jared, in the comments. How in the hell is this leadership? I don't know, man. I don't know. But it is enraging.
Oh my God, it's just making me so mad because it's reminding me back in 2003, I was pregnant. That's why I remember. One of my soldiers was also on Rear D.
You were pregnant, okay.
Yeah, that's why I remember.
Is that your timeline?
That's how I do timeline.
Right.
So, this is during like initial invasion time. So no, it was early 04. One of my soldiers that was on Rear D had already taken her 2 weeks of leave, and that was like division policy that anybody on Rear D could only take 2 weeks of leave while the division was deployed, blah, 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 blah. Okay, fair enough, right? Because they can only take 2 weeks R&R when they're forward. Soldier had already taken 2 weeks of leave for when her husband had come back on R&R. I remember now. A month or so later, her brother gets killed in a car accident.
Oh, man.
And they would not approve her emergency leave. They said, nope, you've already taken 2 weeks of leave, while they're deployed, blah, 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 blah. She called me that night. I'm so mad about it again. She called me that night and told me she was going AWOL. And I couldn't say shit to her.
I know.
Oh.
I know. This shit's it's enraging, man. It is. I was literally, I go through my day, and there is just sometimes I have to, I have to kind of like not vent on someone or not let it out on somebody, but because some of the people that I care about, that I really want to let this, just you know what I mean. This is something serious, man. I mean, reading some of the comments, that's what I've been doing all day. I've been just sitting there ruminating over that shit, and I was talking to some of the main page admins. It's like, God damn, the fucking irony, dude. My dad, his anniversary, his death is tomorrow. I think of all the stuff that happened. There was an incident that happened prior to me going, before I wanted to see him, before he died, before I left. I almost didn't get called. I almost didn't get to go on leave. But a great mentor stepped in and jumped in and helped me out. So that's why there wasn't too much drama about it, but there was about to be some drama. But I was pretty much in the same situation as well. And it got fixed.
Yeah. Like I said, if it would have been my mother or brother, I'd have left. I ain't gonna lie. And long story short, what happened was she was gone for about a week. She came back. I absolutely refused to write the council statement recommending her for punishment. I told the commander, no, right. I'm not fucking doing it.
Right.
And he had some sympathy, and he only gave her, company grade 7 and 7 suspended. Didn't take any rank or anything. Her mother was not doing well after this, and she wanted a compassionate reassignment to a post that was closer. I don't want to give out too many details.
No, I got you.
Then you can figure out who it is. Anyway, her compassionate reassignment did get approved, but it took me losing my shit on the sergeant major that worked at HRC and Compassionate's branch. And, it was literally just going to be, she was even going to be in the same battalion. Like this other post, we had a company at that battalion, and they were trying not to let her go. But long story short, she did get compassionately reassigned. She did not re-enlist, and she was a great soldier.
Of course.
I didn't blame her.
Yeah. I'm gonna tell you what. There's a lot of how do I say this? There's a lot of things that are extenuating to individuals to make them go to a specific point in their lives where they just won't give a fuck about the Army anymore, and leaders need to recognize that there's a big giant mirror that they need to stare into, and they wonder why retention. And that mirror sometimes, is it you? Is it me? They need to look at, is it me? Am I the reason why? Is there anything that I can do better? It's just some things that I don't follow policy on, that I shouldn't be, and there's some things that are policy that I could be, I don't want to say not laxy. I'm gonna tell you what. We had a discussion about how the Marine Corps, how they will literally bar you to re-enlist. There's a lot of nuances in the Army admin, and you know this too, in Army admin regulations and stuff like that. That the administrative actions that you could do you could do anything to freaking to stop a soldier from re-enlisting. You could place a bar. You can prevent a soldier from going to the promotion board, so that soldier gets flagged and gets out. You can also do administrative action, so that way they can't re-enlist if they're misconduct. If we really followed every single policy that the Army had in the toolkit as a leader to enforce discipline, I guarantee it the Army would be better off that way, because soldiers would see you following a standard. Soldiers will see you following the standard and seeing that you are living by a principle, that you do care for them. This is the reason why you're doing it, with an explanation, instead of trying to be a big sarge. Now, are there some policies and regulations that just need to happen, arbitrarily, because there's something that you can kind of yeah, I'm not going to, I'm not going to go back. There's some things that for something like that, yes, the policy says that you have to have this. The policy says you have to have that. But there's other policies that you probably didn't take into account, right? There's other policies that you didn't want to write. There's all the policies that you don't want to follow because it's too much of a hassle. Nah. So why is leave any different? It has nothing to do with you. The leave, according to the unit commander's finance report, means what?
That's an entitlement.
That's an entitlement. There you go.
Said that in normal circumstances.
Exactly.
Let the soldiers take fucking leave.
Right.
They earned it. It's not a privilege. It's not a reward. It's that's money. That's
right.
That's the part that makes me nuts.
Yeah. I just freaking. Hey, the way I see it, if it's something like that, to get that soldier out of there, just like it happened to me, just like it happened to us. There's also some good stories in there too about the leave. This incident on leave. The main page is not taking this down, by the way. They're going to leave it up. The comments are piling up. It's now growing again. It's now 2,068. So the last time we're talking, it's now grown to 1,000. It went from 1,200 shares to 1,528 shares now. So drop your story in there.
I was one of them.
Yeah, drop your story in there because I posted that on Twitter. I tweeted it out. I tweeted that. I said, you remember when the Army said, how has the Army impacted you? I got that link and posted it to Twitter. And that's it. If you wanted to look at it, and I guarantee it. Again, there's some good comments, but there's some comments in there that I'm like, I'm like, my jaw's to the floor. Exactly that. The leave is yours, not there. That's why you carried that leave. It's called an LES. It's your leave. I never understood that. Why commanders do that.
I don't either. I mean, I've been in a lot of units where we didn't get block leave where everybody goes at the same time, and only 10% can go at a time, and it's usually only a problem during spring breaks and Christmas breaks, but it's still there's I don't think I've ever really had to jump through hoops to go on leave myself, except for that same time, when it was on Rear D and I saved my 2 weeks to put on top of my maternity leave because, I didn't want to come back to work at 6 weeks. That was what it was then. But any other time, like even when my grandmother died, it was I knew it was coming. I was the one on staff duty when the Red Cross called. I already knew because, her neighbor had already called me, but I was all right, I did it just by SP. And it was only a couple hours left on staff duty and let my commander know, I'm like, hey, I'm going to leave. It wasn't going to be till the next day anyway, because I had to fly out. But she's like, do you need me to replace you on staff duty right now? I'm like, no, I only got 2 hours left. I'm good. It's it should always just be that easy.
That's what I'm saying. This is not a difficult process. We're not talking about MDMP. We're not talking about, decisive planning in MDMP in a restricted time, intelligence preparation of the battlefield here. We're talking straight up a leave form. A leave form during emergency leave for someone's mother. And for you to say they're not immediate family because they got married. Wow.
Right? I'm like, I think I've known my mom a lot longer than I knew my ex-husband. I think I'm a little closer. I don't know. How is that even? Did you even form that thought in your head?
Right. What was it? Yeah. What was the reason?
It's not in the reg.
There's nowhere does it said. Yeah. Tell me who it. I mean, you honestly. I want to. I mean, it's on notice because the commander's going to find out. And I'm pretty sure we're gonna. We'll probably get some whatever. Page has been tagged. Yeah, again, I'm yeah, you're damn right, Pip. I was shaking mad when I read that. Tried really hard to keep my cool on this shit. Really hard.
I'm not very good at that. Not very good at that at all. They just add so much bullshit. Even to go on regular leave, you need 74 forms. I know a couple of commanders out there are saying, no, you just need a leave form. You don't even need a fucking LES. Your commander has a UCFR. So fuck that, you even need an LES. They really just have to say, yes, you can go and sign. That's it. And I'm like, and again, with that soldier, if you're coming from overseas, you'll need a little bit more because the Army's paying for it. But
dude, I don't even know what to say. There's nothing left to say. Yeah. Go ahead, man. Go ahead. Take it. Thanks, man. Thanks for joining us, Seth. Appreciate you following us. Yeah, that thing right there. We'll have to talk about that. I don't know. That may be a warning because you're an admin or another mod. That's probably what it is. If you're modding another mat, that's probably what it is. You're probably modding in there, and it's probably giving you that title. I don't know. I'm not. We just lit up YouTube, so we're gonna have to figure that out. But thank you for hanging out. I don't know what to say. I really don't. Really don't. It's one of those things. Hey, Nation, go ahead. There's the comments. There's the post. Hey, what's going on? One dude showing. Yes, we did ring, buddy. How you been, man? we were just merely commenting on your post about work-life balance. So thanks again, dude, for joining us in the chat. Thank you for posting that too by the Chief of Staff of the Army. That was top. I'm pretty sure you got some comments too to say about that as well. But yeah, exactly that. What kind of example are these leaders? Because you know what that's a good point, Matt. If these leaders are doing this stuff, other leaders are going to see the same thing. These other leaders are going to see the same thing. What are they going to do? They're going to go, yeah, I saw so and so do it.
Like every time you let a standard go by and not say something, you just set a new one type thing.
Right, yeah. Everybody is like you're setting up a new standard.
Like, if you get married, your mother's no longer family.
Right, yeah.
That's not how that works.
It's like, you're right, there's no what's that Rick and Morty quote? Which one is that? You're a piece of shit and I can prove mathematically, Morty. Oh man. But yeah, you're right. It's a very simple process, just like the leap form when General Carrillo was the commander of the 82nd Airborne Division, and the 82nd Airborne shouldn't be doing no leap packets. They should just be doing the leap form and LES. And
I wonder if that's really happening, because somehow I just feel it's not. Like I'm still checking your med pros, or I'm still doing this, I'm still doing that.
Yeah, really. Yeah, Med Pros with what? Med Pros with make sure you have your Med Pros, make sure you have your shot records, make sure you have your what else do you have? Make sure you birth certificate, make sure you have your insurance form, make sure you have your vehicle inspection, make sure you have your rider certificate, make sure you have what's the other one? Your plane ticket, your itinerary, what
And you got to buy your plane ticket before you leave.
You have to buy your. Do you have an itinerary? Motherfucker, I'm trying to go on leave.
I need a strip map.
I need a strip map. I need a
my fucking couch.
I need right, exactly.
I've had to do that. I'm like, I had to do like the route I was taking to my fucking house, so I just like did it from like my unit to my house. Like, I'm going the same way I do, like 2 to 4 times a day, depending on if I go home for lunch, after PT, whatever. Like, you don't need this for me on a daily basis when I drive in. So what does it mean? I'm just like, fuck it. Here's a goddamn MapQuest or whatever, Google Maps. And that's how long I've been doing it. I had to do it on MapQuest once upon a time. Fuck.
Yeah, you just had to do a MapQuest and you had to find out where do you live and all that. And you had to have something. Was it like some sort of like, remember back in the day when they used to have like you couldn't go on leave if you're E4 and below past 250 miles or some crazy shit like that.
Like, why do you make all these rules?
Exactly,
None of them,
exactly that, Travis. Trips from the airport just so you could fly.
Yes. Oh my God. Yes, you had to do that.
Oh man, I'm getting bombardment in the chats.
It's insane. Like.
Oh man, yeah, exactly. But they need a blood and stool sample too. Oh my God, what was the other? you gotta have a travel plan of a travel plan of another travel plan, and make sure you have a travel plan, and make sure when they inspect your car, and I gotta inspect your car seat. All right, Big Sarge, you really think you're qualified? I love that shit.
Right.
I love that shit. Is when they sit there and say you need to have an inspection and all this other stuff. I'm sorry, are you ASC certified? Excuse me?
No, they want me inspecting vehicles.
Right.
Like, they looking at tire tread. I have no
exactly
idea what that means.
The shit's got air in it, and there's tires in there, and it looks like it runs all right, and it wasn't wobbling when whatever. So as funny as you need a 4-page essay on why you need to go on leave.
Oh my God, yes, and they want to know why.
Why do you want to go on leave?
Because I earned the leave space. That's my fucking reason.
Exactly.
You don't need to know what I'm doing?
Right. Why you need to go on leave? Because I need to go on leave. Well, why do you need to go on leave? You have to give a reason why.
And mine was all like, I've earned the days.
Yeah, exactly.
They used to hate that answer, but I still put it. Fuck you, they're mine, and I don't need to tell you why. I just want to sit on my couch and drink beer and eat Cheetos for a week straight. Maybe that's it. Is that what the picture you want in your head?
Exactly. How many beers are you drinking?
All of them.
All of the beer. Yeah, exactly. You're not drinking Modelo, are you? No. You have to have a Modelo freaking risk assessment. Oh my God, man.
I'm trying to keep up with all these comments. Like, y'all keep them coming. But
I know that this is awesome. We
so
appreciate, you guys appreciate you guys throwing the comments in there. That's awesome. But yeah, exactly that. To get away from this toxic environment, that's why I need to go on because you guys suck. Anybody who has it recorded and sends it to U.S. Army WTF Moments videos, I will make sure you get a pass. Because this place sucks for Soren.
Right? Like, I'm about to start slapping people and throwing desks for real. That's why I need to go on leave. Since you asked, even though I already told you because I earned the days.
Oh, man. All right. We're going to go ahead and take a break. Get a counseling statement from every person in your chain of command while you're taking leave. Exactly. Right. Why are you taking leave? But at any rate, I'm going to go ahead and take a break. And then, yeah, exactly. Spanky needs a break. She's already typing in the chats. And then she's like, snack time. And then everyone will refill your glasses, get some shots, and I got a couple announcements to make from one of the main page admins. It was from the main page. It was it's a post going on about some lifting stuff, and I'll get into it in a minute. So we'll real quick. We'll go ahead and take a break, and we'll be right back. Shouts!
WTF Nation Radio. WTF Nation Radio.
Take it from me, Ice. You can't just float around space not caring about stuff forever.
The voice of U.S. Army. WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
Shit in the bag, Pogue.
Hello, Mama. Hello, Daddy. I've got something that I've never said before. Went down south of the border. Now life, it's got a little harder for me. I fell in love with some girl. She told me that she was gonna rock my world. Now I'm stuck here with no money. Don't that just sound a little funny for you? Well, her name was Maria. She told me she was always by my side. Went home one evening. She was with another man. He tried to run and hide. I pulled out my 45. I told them that I was gonna take their life. Now I'm stuck here on the run. I don't know the animal I have become, so won't you save me? Save me! Won't you save me? Save me! Won't you save me? Save me! Won't you please put me out of my little misery? Well, I know life is short. Mom, you know I always try to do my best. Should've listened when you told me I wouldn't be caught in this mess. Gotta go now, Dad, I'm sorry. Everybody, all y'all need to know this is life, a true story. When you chase ass down in Mexico, save me, save me. Won't you save me, save me, save me, save me. Won't you please put me out of my little misery? Won't you save me? Save me. Won't you save me? Save me. Won't you save me? Save me. Won't you please put me out of my little misery?
I am here determined to stop this future atrocity.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe. I suggest we use it.
The voice of U.S. Army, WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
Everything stated on WTF Nation Radio is to be considered the opinion of the person that stated it, and not an official representation of WTF Nation Radio or U.S. Army WTF Moments.
Price does not include tax, title, or license. Some assembly required. Each item sold separately. Batteries not included. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. If conditions persist, contact a physician. Individual results may vary. Keep out of the reach of children. Avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight. Keep in a cool, dark place. And
please enjoy the show. Shots.
Hell yeah. Gonna get some funk on. I gotta get that anger out.
I had to get a glass of wine.
I gotta get some wine. You gotta get some.
That's what I did. I don't have any funk.
No, man. Well, I'm gonna jump on another subject that's gonna piss you off even more.
Let me take a sip of this.
Yeah, exactly. Where'd you get that funk from? Okay, so real quick, in about a month, around the Fort Bragg area, there's going to be some posts coming out, and you're going to see that as well. There is going to be at Last Strike Fitness. There's going to be some fitness stuff and some events of benching and lifting and all sorts of shit. It is Last Strike Fitness, and it is awareness for domestic violence and mental health. And it's going to happen on the 4th of April, 2020. Now, this is to bring awareness to domestic violence and mental health issues. Again, what we're going to do is myself and another admin are going to do promoting for this because this is something that's kind of really serious. I take this very seriously. No man should ever hit a woman at all, ever, at any time. Unless she is shooting at you or she is a zombie or coming at you with an axe. Those are kind of like the rules of engaging women. But other than that, if she hits you up and slapping you around and you can't take it, then tough shit. This whole what was that? Left and right? What was it, equal rights, equal left and rights or whatever? Nah, I don't be that. I don't believe if a woman if you were that weak enough to get hurt by a woman. Unless she's a zombie coming at you with an axe or shooting at you, then that's different. But no, I disagree with anyone wanting to strike down a woman for no fucking reason over some of the stories that we read in the inbox are shocking enough, which I'll be honest with you, that's one of the two. There was two. What got me? How do I say this? What got me more into the cause of what WTF Nation is all about is when I was working the inbox as an admin. I was dealing with a domestic violence case, 2 of them, and then I was dealing with a child neglect case. And I'll be honest with you, I mean, now, of course, anonymity in the inbox and all sorts of shit, there's cases still going on, all that stuff. But at the time, it enraged me. It enraged me because of the fact that these dudes, thinking they were big and bad, hitting a woman and thought they were king shit. Literally have had several times where I've been stopped from going to beat somebody's ass for hitting a woman. You put your hand on your woman, I don't care if she's in your face and you touch teeth. I don't care if she gets so close that she's spitting at you while she's screaming at you. I don't care. There's no excuse. But what happens, Ice, if she swings at you?
Block it.
What's the term? Take it like a man. Take it. Just take it. It ain't worth it. No,
I'm all for women not beating on men either.
Right, don't get me wrong. No, you're right. Now, hang on. Now, I was about ready to jump on that. I was about ready to jump. Not saying without. As a lady, you should not, get smacked around. You should not smack. What was? Hey man, women are dangerous. Was dating a Puerto Rican one that tried to stab me over eating some leftovers. In retrospect, she may have been crazy.
Well, I might get a little angry.
Maybe that. Yeah. I don't know, dude. Leftovers depends on what it was. What was the leftovers, man? What was the leftovers, Chris? Ladies queens do not. Women do not go smacking around. They have other ways of torturing us, man. We don't need to be hit. But what if she likes to be choked? There you go. There's the left and right limit to that too.
Yes, there is. If you don't know what you're doing,
If you don't, yeah, if you don't know what you're doing, oh, it's tamales. Yeah, you're fucked, Chris. You deserve to get stabbed.
Fuck, I'm going to kick Chris's ass.
I'm going to get Chris's ass too. If you steal my fucking tamales, I'm going to stab you. How about the call of comps? If it connects to what though, dude? I mean, you know, it depends on what. I mean, don't get me wrong. There are men just as much as women that get beat, that get fucking smacked around in a relationship and something like that. But does not, and that you take it how you want, and you take it to the severity of how you want it. And if you're dealing with some sort of mental anguish and there's some other shit going on, of course I'm saying go to the authorities. Use your better judgment. But to haul off and get fucking smacked like that. You don't. I'm sorry, especially if it's like domestic violence against her. Yeah, so what? Then domestic violence against her. Call the cops in. If she beats you the fuck up and she's in an environment where it's causing an environment between you and the family, and it's causing a toxic environment, and it's causing some mental anguish to the kids as well, if you have kids, or if you're just a dude, just like whatever, just go fucking leave, break up with her, see ya.
I mean, it really is that easy.
It's really just you're done.
I do get that lots of people don't leave when they're getting their ass kicked on a daily basis, or however often. I know
it's not
heard way too many stories that it's like I can't afford it. I can't this, can't that. I promise you.
Well, there are some and you're right. You bring up a good point. There are some cases where the situation would be dangerous enough, and the person has to. I mean, it's a sad story to say that the individual has to endure it to make their fucking plan out. If that makes any sense. Because in a lot of cases like that, there are more individuals out there that are more going to support the criminal, the perpetrator. They will more than likely take his side or her side, depending on what's going on, to have some sort of social program work in its place. Oh, they have to see family therapy, or they have to go through some sort of incarceration process and a discussion and counseling and all this shit. Dude, I'm telling you what, if you're fucking over 6 foot and you fucking lay your hands on a woman that's like 5'5" and you're beating the fuck out of her, you don't need fucking counseling, dude. You need a fucking 2x4 across your face. I'll say it right now.
Right. And I'll do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's.
We'll get the. Yeah, exactly. We'll get the fucking. You don't have to worry about the struggle bus on that one. We will drive to you. We finance E1 and up. I don't understand how dudes do it. I don't understand what is it in. It's a bad upbringing, bad wiring. I don't care. Doesn't matter. You don't put your hands on a woman. Now you as yourself should be you yourself as a man should be raising your children as men, and showing your son, if you have a son. I get the everyone gets you fighting. I was fighting with my sisters when I was a kid. I was slapping each other around and stuff like. We were kids.
Oh yeah, me and my brothers fought all the time.
Right.
Like I was the oldest, so I beat their ass, and they're both capable of whipping mine now.
I was about to say, but you and your brothers had that's a natural. That's a, everybody had sibling rivalry when it comes to fisticuffs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's normal. Everyone has that. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking when you're like now in your 20s, or you're now in your 30s and you're in your 40s, hell, even your 50s. You're at that age. You're at that age now where you're a grown. When I have these guys that say, "I'm a grown ass man." Fuck that. Yeah, you a grown ass man. Act like it.
Exactly.
Unless she's a zombie coming at you with a fucking axe or shooting at you, then that's the only time you can can lay hands. You know what I'm saying? That's the only extenuating criteria of. But if she's mad at you because you fucking deserved it, and don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that all arguments should be like straight in your face arguing and shit, but arguments happen. Arguments are going to happen. But when you get that fucking heated, where you get into somebody's face like that, where you might as well, that individual's going to feel like, this motherfucker going to hit me. Just to clear before I get sued, the conditions are bullshit. Some of the civilians on staff are subpar, had to misusing VA funds. Are we talking about zombies? Or are we talking about, what are we talking about, Branko? Are we talking about the, what are we clarifying here? Here's the reason why I say that is because there are some laws in certain states that, like the we've talked about this before, the tattletale law. Yeah, somebody just calls up and say, I feel in danger. Somebody beat me up last week. Did you report it? No, but I feel in danger. And that individual in some states will get picked up.
Right.
I don't agree with this.
I mean, if you really do, if you really do feel endangered, by all means call for help. But like, I think like doing a false report or false alarm or anything is like just right under like domestic violence in my mind.
You know what? I tell you what, if you file a false report just to get after someone, whether it be a man or a woman, and you file a false report just so that way they can get involved in CPS and use your kids as a weapon, you should get charged for what you are accusing that individual of.
Oh, I mean,
so in other words, if you get falsely accused of rape, you should, as the person who falsely accused somebody of rape, should be charged with that type of punishment as if you were the person that did the rape. If you falsely accuse somebody of beating somebody up, or you're talking shit and you're falsely accusing somebody just to get back at them because you lost an argument or they took your tamales or whatever, that's the same thing. And just to clarify before you get sued, conditions are okay. So I know what you're saying, Branko, but I don't understand what you're saying. You're talking about civilians of some part. I don't know. I don't understand what I don't understand what you tell me. I don't understand what you're telling me, bud. But again, there are some laws there that I think there's some guys that get ruined. The guys and gals, their reputations get ruined over a false report, whether for domestic violence. To the point where the army will literally take your side and not. It's almost like they take your side if you're the person that's making the accusations, and immediately without any reason to not. There was times when I was a first sergeant, I would be enraged at some of the shit that was being flung at the soldiers, and I'm thinking nothing happened, or there's not this that happened. I mean, obviously we can't talk about some of the cases involved because of sensitivity and Privacy Act and shit. But there were some incidences where you got to be kidding me. It was a false accusation. How do you know this person? Yeah, yeah, exactly. How do you know this person? How do you know it's a false accusation? Because we were in the fucking field. That's how I know it's a false accusation. Well, the conditions have. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. They still wanted to process it because, again, they wanted to maintain their resources and funding to have this type of program going on. Well, the same states. Certain states are like that.
Well, and then as leaders, you have like no choice but to put the soldier in the in the barracks for a cooling off period. And what a lot of people don't realize is that's not a punishment in itself. It's protecting the soldier, or protecting the spouse. I'm not using like sex even. Like it's either protecting the soldier or protecting the spouse, so they're away from each other for 72 hours. It gives them both a cooling off period to hopefully get the real story out, like actually what happened.
Well,
nobody knows exactly what happened.
But Spanky, you and I as leaders are not qualified to dissect that type of psychology or that type of counseling as leaders. Neither is a commander who is like a captain who's got a degree in fucking mechanical engineering as an engineer. Or a dude who studied history at West Point as a PE,
whatever that degree is in.
Exactly. Political science, yeah. Well, poli-sci, yeah. They're not qualified to make those decisions. They're not qualified to that. So they can't, it's really hard because, I've also, as a leader, you also had to take an accountability of the soldier too. As, obviously, because you're a leader, they're looking at you as a leader. So you use the processes that in policies there, but there's been some cases where we have seen in the inbox. They're legit cases. I mean, when you get pictures of the shit, you're like, holy shit. And then you wonder why, and then you ask, how come you didn't go through this or how come you didn't go through that? Chain of command didn't listen to me. Chain of command didn't listen. Whoa. I know we were talking about this lifting event. Or we're talking about this thing that's going to happen in March. Well, in April we'll get that flyer out to you guys. We'll talk about it more because I might go check it out. I don't lift though. I mean, I stayed in the Holiday Inn Express, but I don't.
Great.
I
got nice beds.
Exactly. They have nice beds. They have snacks. But no, I really don't get that when individuals are going through some shit and then they're having issues and they're like, well, what happened? Yeah, well, me and my old lady got in a fight. Oh, you got in a fight? What happened? Yeah, she was doing this and this, so I pushed her on the ground. I'm like, you're a dick, dude. Why'd you hit her? Why'd you push her? Why'd you do that? Well, she got in my face.
I'm about to get in your face.
Right? How? Yeah. Tell me what. But you're right. It's like the red flag law or swatting somebody. It's really hard to get. It's really easy to report somebody for domestic violence, and than it is for someone to disprove it. If that makes any sense. So that accusation you make on somebody for no fucking reason, that because you pissed off at them, because we've seen it all. Every leader has seen that. That type of jilted ex or jilted spouse or whatever, or something didn't happen. That, I get that. I'm probably going to get shit on Twitter. ICE is saying that the women are not going to... Yeah, I'm not saying that. I'm talking about the cases that are legit. I'm talking to you as a man. You as a man do not hit a woman. There you go. Pretty easy enough, right? Because I know if you put your hands on my kids, you put your hands on my daughters, that'll be the end of you.
Oh, absolutely.
End of you.
And when these reports get filed, they never go away, ever.
You know what? That's a good point. You're right.
They're in the victim advocacy system. I can't remember the name of it right now.
But no, not only that, but they're also
family
advocacy record. But also, they can also be moved up into a file that will prevent you from purchasing a firearm.
If you're convicted, yes.
If you're convicted, no. Well, I mean, no. I'm saying, think about it though. I mean, they're with. You can't bring in, I'm a staunch advocate of the Second Amendment. So anything that has to do with somebody trying to take someone's ability to push into break contact, nah, never. Even I have had, nope, not even break contact. Nope. Oh, you're talking about like pushing to break contact. If someone's like stabbing you or lunging at you is a different story. But if you're walking away and someone's wailing on you, again. There's some, hey, better than you than me. If you think that you can do and handle it yourself, you go for it. I've never nope. Coming at you with an axe, shooting at you, or a zombie. That's it.
No, and like I said, these reports will stay in the family advocacy program or their database, whatever it is, and let's say you don't get convicted and, nobody could prove anything happened or this, that, or whatever, or your spouse drops the charges or your domestic partner in any way. Now, let's say, 5-6 years down the road, you're with someone else and they make the same report. That's where they go back. It's like, this is interesting. Yes, we could never prove that you beat someone before, but now it's happening again. Like either you're picking some pretty crazy bitches or, that's a whole lot of coincidence.
Exactly, cause we were just talking about that, making false accusations. Yeah, exactly, Chris. Exactly that. Remember, if she's pissed at you, trying to fight you, never raise your hand. Just eat her tamales. Exactly. I mean, it sucks, and I know. I mean, to get to a point where someone's like throwing fucking hands at you or getting that mad or enraged, and yeah, sorry, man card. Sorry, that's part of the man thing. If you don't think that's fucking, oh no, man, equal rights, equal left and rights. Okay.
And then the other side of this is like how many people don't report it, because all those spouses know is they know, like, if I report this, he's going to get in trouble. He's going to stop getting paid. That means how am I going to feed my kids or our kids? And so that's one of the main reasons why so many of them just don't report it.
Right.
And until it becomes a neighbor calling it in or something else, and it just escalates even more.
There was been incidences where individuals have had their asses beat by their spouses, and nobody, and this is a guy getting hit by a woman, and didn't know about it. I mean, like everyone, like nobody knew about it. No, the organization, they didn't know about it, and they were like, "Dude, how come you're always like, bruise the fuck up, and you're like doing combatives extra?" And the guy was like, yeah, I'm doing, I'm doing combatives extra. I'm spending a lot of time in the, doing MMA shit, And finally, he confided with somebody, and that individual, obviously out of compassion, and felt with an obligation to report it up. And so when that individual was put on the table, what happened was was like the person had to have like a direct fucking phone call. Does that make any sense?
Well, I don't like. Well, I know like some people are like mandatory reporters, especially when it comes to domestic violence or child abuse or anything. I don't think us as NCOs, we're not considered a mandatory reporter. But
no, when it
how
comes,
could you live with yourself?
I was about to say
you
he
knew
was
that
he
someone's
was
getting their ass kicked.
well he told somebody who was a mandatory reporter, but the mandatory reporter didn't want to believe it. Does that make any sense?
No, absolutely not.
So no, I'm saying, but no, I mean like the chain of custody of information of going to the mandatory reporter was like, holy shit, this is really fucking happening. Is this what you want to do? That person was like, no, I just want to fucking be brought it up to light because this individual was like fucking whatever. But there are dudes out there that fucking take it. They will sit there and take it. And it sucks. It's unfortunate that that we'll always get we'll get the shit end of a stick in a domestic situation. That's why you just fucking just take the walk away. You just walk. I mean, I'm telling you, walk the fuck away, dudes. Don't push your hands. Don't put your hand. Whatever obligated by law, by specific police officers have to make an arrest. They have to make an arrest. If someone puts their hands up on somebody, it better not be you. Walk away, dude.
And they always do. It's like if like I know like when I went through this training, like at least in Texas, like even if the wife hits you, like you're both like getting arrested for domestic violence. Like even if he beat her ass and she had slapped him once, she still laid a hand on him and they both get arrested. That rarely happens. It's usually the guy. That's just the bottom line. Yeah. It's usually the guy that gets arrested.
We'll post more stuff and more awareness going on once this campaign comes on. This awareness campaign happens on the 4th, and so yeah, I just don't want to bring it up. I'm decided to talk about it right now. I was on the top of the hour for the second half because one of the main bad gentlemen was talking about it, and then like I said, we might participate or take pictures of or whatever. But I will. I don't give a fuck if you call me a pussy. Go ahead, call me names, call me coward, whatever. I'm getting smacked the fuck up. I'm walking away. I will take the smacking, whatever. Again, as long as it's not fucking an axe zombie or shooting at me, then that's a different story. I'm walking away. Well, I'm walking away with my eyes looking forward. How about that?
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm looking. I'm just like, yeah. So, yeah, it sucks. It sucks to see that, to see guys have to go through that shit. See guys suck for women have to go through that shit too. Go back to the saying, if you're a woman and you're getting beat by your dude, you get the fuck out of there. I know you can't, and it's hard for me to give you that advice because there's some situations where a woman can't get out of that situation. Fucking hang in there. Fuck, reach out, have a plan, get ready to evac.
On every post. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I'm saying have an evac.
There's a family advocacy program.
Right, exactly, and
you can go to them.
There are some groups out there that will help you escape, that will help you bug out, will help you get you to the right resources to get you in a shelter or whatever. Especially if you got kids, man. I just can't believe they're. I mean, I'm sorry, dudes don't fucking hit women. Sorry, that's just the way it is. I know we were just kind of like guys getting beat up and fucking walking away and all this shit. Now I'm talking about guys being. You're a fucking coward. You hit a woman, you're a coward.
And with that being said, like a lot of people think that, like I said, the financial aspect of it, let me tell you now, everything's in black and white. You can read it in the regs. If the soldier gets convicted of domestic violence, the spouse and the kids can still petition to get paid. And I think it's up to a year. Like even if it was so bad that they went to jail over it and they are not getting paid, the spouse can still collect that paycheck, and I believe it's up to a year. And I don't remember if it's a whole paycheck or just BAH because it's been a long time since I've read it.
I think it's that right there. It's
even if the soldier gets reduced,
they can apply certain. Well, yeah, there's some certain resources that they can go through. As a matter of fact, we need to have that right before that awareness stuff happens. We should have somebody from FAP. Have somebody come on there.
I'm sure I can find someone.
Yeah, give somebody. I mean,
remembers much more about this than me because it's been 10 years since that was my job.
Remember what I'm saying? Yeah, but I mean, well, I'm old and shit, and I'm remembering what was that? I don't even know what the hell I did yesterday. So I don't even know what I had for lunch today. Oh no, I had a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, 2 of them. But I also had some chicken nuggies with the kid, and he was pissed. Oh man, I will support $15 an hour at fast food places If they only not stop, if they could just stop forgetting the fucking barbecue sauce.
Right.
Oh my! It was a catastrophe. You can only do so much. You want to catch up? The freaking nuggets and freaking fruit punch flew at me. Do you want some? Do you want some sort of hot sauce? And I just like. You know what I mean?
For my kid, it's ranch, and luckily we have ranch at home because they always forget the fucking
no, I don't
ranch.
get it. Yeah. So baby Ice was coming home and all that stuff, and he loves it. I always, hey, to see if these fries are good, and I let him grab a couple fries out of the bag, and he's like, delicious. He's all happy and shit, and I'm thinking, all right. And I said yes. I said some barbecue sauce, tangy barbecue, and hot mustard. And get them chicken nuggies, and he's all happy because we got some chicken nuggies and all that, and then. As soon as I start getting the bag out and start opening the stuff out, I got laid the spread out ready to go. And then he just looked at me. He's like, sorry, buddy, there's no barbecue sauce. Do you want some ketchup? And fucking nuggies went everywhere. He was pissed.
I don't blame him.
He was pissed. I don't know how we just went to the subject going back and forth. We need to have somebody from FAP come on. We need to have somebody from Family Advocacy come on, too. Maybe have some... We might have some members of the Vampire Squad, the WTF Nation guys that assist the domestic violence teams and all that too, so that way we can kind of have them shoot the shit and discuss the stuff like that. Because I swear, dudes, I'm telling you what, dudes, and that's that should be another thing too. You know how we used to freaking, how Stolen Valor, stuff like that. Maybe we should do that, asshole of the week or something like that for guys of domestic violence who beat their women. You know what I mean? Guys,
I'm down for that.
You're down for that shit. Since we get in trouble for showing the dick pics that everyone freaking sends all you ladies, we can freaking but exactly that cause they fuck you the drive-thru, dude. They do, man. They again, I cannot support $15 an hour if they keep forgetting my sauce. Baby Ice is the metric. If I'm getting fucking fruit punch thrown at me with some nuggies all over the floor. I'm sorry, buddy. I'm not voting that. I'm not voting that resolution for $15 an hour. But anyways, yeah. So like I said, more to follow on that. Well, that's a good topic because there's some things. Maybe we should have the judge come in too. Judge has been really busy too. So you've been seeing on Twitter. He's not going off lately.
I know. I gotta get that man a taser.
Yeah. Oh no, he got one. He got a taser already. Yeah, he did. He got an X26 fucking black and yellow taser, and yeah, he's on a taser tirade. Holy! I tried to. Everybody. Yeah, I was like, "Hey, can you come on, Sergeant's time? I'm busy doing some shit." I'm like, "All right, cool." And all right, hey, you want to do something? I'm doing something out. And I start reading some of the stuff he's going through. I'm like, "Oh, okay, yeah. No, carry on. You're good. You're good." Yeah, you just hang out.
He's one of my favorite people on Twitter. I have to go check who he wants to tase today.
Oh my god, I know. If you guys don't have a Twitter account, or if you do have a Twitter account and you want to follow the judge, man. Just what is it? What's his at? His at WTF _ judge is what it is. At WTF _ judge, the judge, and he is the WTF Nation's. He is our head jack. He runs the legal office for WTF Nation. He's the one that tells us what we can't post. that might get us fried. He's the one that tells us to.
He'll tase you.
Yeah, he'll tase you. You can't. I'm sorry, Ice. You can't post that video because it's illegal. Or you can do this. Yeah, dude. It's So yeah. But anyways, he's on a taser tirade. I think what was his bio says a WTF Nation's lawyer. I say what your jag is thinking. Twitter's leading taser proponent. No DOD, of course, and U.S. Army endorsement. DMs are always open. So yeah, he's awesome when he starts throwing his comments in there. But yeah, at any rate, yeah. So yeah, because your mom got that double barrel taser exactly with tamales of excellence. Anyways, so continuing the story, yeah. So it's for domestic violence. It's going to be for April 2020 in Fayetteville. We'll grab that detail out and we'll let you guys know what's up with that. What was the other thing right there? Oh yeah, the next one, Sir the Four is coming down here. He's pissed about the flipples. He's like bayonets. Yeah.
He gets moving. Yeah, he's moving back in technology.
Yeah.
He's more personal with it.
Yeah, he wants to get more with technology. He wants to use bayonets, tasers, freaking non-lethal stuff. You got thinking about chicken nuggies now? Yeah, dude. It's all about them nuggies. It's all about the chicken nuggies. Yeah, dude. Baby Ice gets. Oh, dude, he was irate. He was freaking irate. I don't blame him. And think about it, man. Busy day at school, commanding the playground, telling everybody, you know, are you not entertained? And he's, you know, throwing mulch at his classmates, and then he jumps.
He worked up an appetite.
He worked up, yeah. He's all hungry. He's just like, hey, do you want to go to, you know, you want to go to freaking, you want to go to McDonald's because you know, I got a show tonight. And I was just wondering. He's like, oh, what? And chicken nuggets, and oh, it's gonna happen. Don't worry about it. Like 3 Cletus is happening. And he was all excited. I know exactly what he wants. He's the child. So and that's what happened.
It's the same way, like on Friday nights during football season, the girl, I usually have to pick her up, you know, really late at night. And she always wants Taco Bell. And I usually go, like, you know, she lets me know when they're about 20 minutes from the school and I got to pick her up. So I'll go get Taco Bell. Same order every time. It's 3 soft tacos and cinnamon twist. 9 times out of 10, they forget the fucking cinnamon twist. And she would get so pissed. She's like, why do you not check the bag? You just have to open the bag. You can see if there's cinnamon twist or there's no cinnamon twist. I'm just like, Scarlett, if you don't eat these fucking tacos, it's 2 o'clock in the morning. But yeah, they always forget them. And I don't worry about them forgetting her hot sauce anymore because they sell Taco Bell hot sauce at the commissary. So I'm stocked up. But yeah, they always forget her cinnamon twist, and she gets so mad. I'm like, I'm not going back. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. We're going home.
Yeah, he was pretty freaking. He was pretty irate. He was pizza nuggies. Yeah, he was. Yeah, I don't blame him. So what I said? You want me to petition to Congress to? You want me to petition to Congress to make sure that resolution for $15 an hour doesn't happen?
Not until they remember the fucking sauce.
Exactly. Again, I mean, I'm just breaking balls. Anyway, so all right. Well, we're gonna talk. What was the next thing we're gonna talk about? There was some other stuff that was gonna happen that we're gonna talk about later, but that'll be later. That'll be like during another show. Real quick, what was it? Oh, so
there were so many.
There's what happened in Afghanistan? The Infinity War was supposed to have been over, and then
oh my gosh,
and then not even 4 hours into the game, not 4 hours into the game, not even I don't know, freaking
like was it like 24, 36 hours?
Wasn't even
like
that.
Maybe 48.
Right.
Like, I mean, they like fucked that up faster than we couldn't even get a soldier home on leave.
We couldn't even. Like it's like the war in Afghanistan had it was an Afghan ceasefire. So it was a ceasefire that was supposed to happen, and it was everyone's like, oh yeah, we're successful, blah blah blah, and this is gonna be and I'm thinking, okay, all right, this looks like there's some promise here. This looks like this might happen. A little bit.
Like I think I put squares on it. Like, I gave it like a day.
You did. You did give it actually, you were pretty good about it. You were like, you said I should take squares. I should have taken squares, man, because I should have bet you, like, I should have bet against you, you know, because I just said no, it's gonna last shorter, because sure shit, the Afghans now are saying that they had agreed to a tentative truce, and then the next thing you know, there was a temporary ceasefire. And then the next thing you know, it didn't happen. I guess they were like, next thing you know, they were like shooting shit up. You know, the news really didn't talk about it that much. They just really said that there was a ceasefire, tentative ceasefire. We had some people signing some shit and all this other stuff. This was going on. D. Treasy talked to the Taliban, and then, he talked to them at the Taliban in a teleconference. I don't want the freaking, all these people going nuts and running. I said on WTF Nation Radio that Trump was talking to the Taliban. I knew it. You know what I mean? I don't want nobody to say that shit. That's not exactly what happened. It was a teleconference between D. Treasy and the Taliban, and and the next thing you know, Taliban started attacking Afghan National Army, and then I think we went in there and like laid them out. And then we like dropped some bombs on them or some shit. Or did we lit them up.
Yeah, but so much for like, you know, like, oh, there's an end in sight. Yeah,
there's an end in sight.
Skeptical.
Yeah, exactly. I'm surprised W didn't come out of the work going, I told you that shit ain't going to work. They lied
but
to
what
you.
is? That's the thing. Like, what is going to work, W? Let us know.
Right, exactly.
I mean, well, he didn't figure it out. Nobody's figuring it out.
You guys are fucked.
We're all fucked. That's why it's called Infinity War now.
It's called Infinity. I shouldn't say that shit. I should not say we're all fucked. We just need to get out of there. That's all. But you're right. Yeah, exactly that cause. We bombed the shiznit out of them. I wonder if people on Twitter like sit there and say, is this guy really talking like this? Is this guy really... Because they're all like refined and yes, yes, and yes, we're indubitably smashing and looking down your nose and shit on Twitter. And they because Ice and Spanky said on WTF Nation Radio, they represent the WTF Nation very, very responsibly, reporting about these deals that happened. So it was a Time Magazine report. We haven't shot the shit about Time in a while, so less than 24 hours after Treasy, President Trump said had a very good talk with the top Taliban leader. He insisted the group wants to cease violence. A military drone on Wednesday targeted the militant group, retaliating for an uptick of Taliban attacks against Afghan forces. So there you go.
I mean, I know this ceasefire was between us and the Taliban, or was it between the Taliban and the Afghani government?
I just kind of thought a ceasefire was a ceasefire.
Stop fucking shooting people.
Right. I mean,
unless they're zombies, a knife or an axe.
Yeah, exactly. Unless they're zombies, a knife or an axe. Yeah. Well, the Taliban has a little bit different there. So the mixed signals underscore the fragility of the U.S. Taliban deal signed last weekend that aims at ending America's longest war. U.S. officials said Wednesday's airstrike was intended as a message to the Taliban to continue. Wait a minute, weren't we sending messages to Taliban already? I mean, are we kind of like done on the messaging stuff with them as far as sending them? What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do to the Taliban? Send troops? What are you gonna do? Send more troops? we're gonna send more troops. Ass. U.S. officials said Wednesday's airstrike was intended a message to Taliban to continue reinforce reduction in violence commitment they had agreed to ahead of the intra-Afghan peace talks that are supposed to begin next week. They are stressed that there is always an expectation that there would be hiccups in the process and that scattered violations would not necessarily crater the deal, no pun intended, or the intra-Afghan talks. Officials noted that they kill the goats. Is that like one of their cash crops? Is poppies and goats? Their GDP is a goat. Officials noted that the deal signed in Doha does not include a full ceasefire, but rather leaves negotiations on a comprehensive nationwide truce to the intra-Afghan talks. In the meantime, the reduction in violence commitment had been expected to be respected, but it does not, however, say that the truce or completion of peace accord are required conditions for the withdrawal of American troops. Defense Secretary Mark Esper told a Senate panel Wednesday that the Taliban are honoring the agreement by not attacking U.S. and coalition forces, but not in the terms of sustaining the reduction in violence. He added, quote, keeping that group of people on board is a challenge. They've got a range of hardliners and softliners, so they're wrestling with that too, I think. Hardliners and soft. Are you, Spanky, you a hardliner? Or a softliner? Are you,
neither.
Are you a moist liner? Are you?
Oh my God! I hate that word. Just like those B and C words.
It's like the.
Screw you guys! I'm going home.
Oh man.
Wait, but I also I see in there that said we're supposed to have to begin withdrawing 4,000 troops.
Well, right. I mean, he said.
What do you mean by begin?
Well, I mean, it just basically is saying that in the next week or so, in the next weeks or so, 4,000 troops are leaving Afghanistan in the next week or so. So that's what it means. I mean, still a surge in Afghan
or so
of excellence, I guess. I don't know what that means. I don't know what or so. It's kind of like over there. Where do you go? Over there. Where about over there? Well, over there yonder by the mailbox, type shit.
But we're never fucking leaving.
A surge in Taliban attacks since the peace deal was signed, coupled with the refusal thus far of the Afghan government to release thousands of Taliban prisoners, may have imperiled the planned 10 March start of the Afghan negotiations. So that means the renewed violence complicated the situation, I guess. I mean, just gonna U.S. lawmakers express concern that the U.S. Taliban agreement gives away too much and too little, and may threaten America's national security. You know, look.
I'm not buying that.
Here's what makes me laugh. Exactly. Here's what makes me laugh about this whole thing, though. If you were really thinking about it. If you were to say this like 5 years, 5 years into the war, maybe it's like 4 years into the war, maybe,
before it started to be called Infinity
Before
War?
we started calling it, yeah. Once you hit the 15-year mark, that's like when the war hits puberty. That's like when it starts becoming mouthy and doesn't want to get to work and is talking crap and wants their rights and they want their privacy and they want their own Wi-Fi. That's when it's time for them to get out. At this point, you don't need to be talking shit like that. You don't need to be tolerating that stuff. As everyone tells me, oh, what do you know, Ice? You're just a sergeant major. What do you know about defense and policy? And there's those key negotiations and all stuff. I guarantee it right now. I guarantee it. This sounds like a duffel blog headline. The DOD should investigate all the generals that said they were going to win the Afghan war. They should do it.
Really? Because, how many of these generals were probably lieutenants and captains when it first started? I mean, we have kids over there that had no idea what 9/11 is, or other than in the history book.
Right. Exactly. So, I mean, everyone's like freaking, someone said a State Department official, a former State Department, Tom Malinowski, quote, said that, I read the secret annexes to the Taliban deal today. The bottom line is the administration is telling a terrorist group the conditions, such as they are our withdrawal from Afghanistan, but not telling the American people this is wrong. And it serves no national security purpose. Even Trump allies like Senator Lindsey Graham and Liz Cheney have aired doubts. Dude, look, we have been there for almost 20 fucking years.
I mean, who doesn't have doubts? Those couple, they're probably the only ones that said it. Literally, who didn't have doubts? Was anybody thinking that this was really going to work? I would like to know who those people are because. I mean, we have one of those armistices and everything with North Korea, and they still like to fuck around from time to time. And that's 80 years ago.
And we didn't. So that's what I'm saying. But the reason why. But you notice the reason why I think about this, right? We just had K426. Okay, K426. Do you know what K426 means? K4 obviously is the Kosovo stabilization force that was in NATO that was during the Kosovo War, Operation Joint Guardian and all that, during the Bosnia time frame. Back in 1995 up to 1999 is when the hostilities with us and Bosnia and Serbia and all stuff. So K426 means there's been 26 rotations in Kosovo. We're still there, okay? And the reason why we're still there is because they're not shooting at us. That's the reason why we were there. Think about it right now. If Kosovo was if Afghanistan was, and Kosovo were both the same kind of wars, we would not have been in Kosovo that long. But because Kosovo isn't, they have more of an international presence there. Well, I don't understand. We have an international presence in Afghanistan. What's the difference, right?
I mean, you have it in Korea. You have it in Kuwait. We're every single war that, maybe, okay, I guess we don't have it in Vietnam. There we go.
Right. Well, I'm saying. Well, think about it. We got people PCSing there and shit.
No, we have people PCSing to Afghanistan.
Right. Yeah, that too. We have people PCSing to Afghanistan. What makes me mad is that here's what makes me mad is that a congressional hearing on Tuesday, Cheney made a similar point to Malinowski, saying that the documents have been seen by the Taliban, so I believe that the American people deserve to know what agreement has been entered to with our name with the terrorists who harbored those behind the September 11th attacks. Wait a minute. I thought the Taliban was harboring Al-Qaeda. Right? Isn't that what they're doing?
They did 9/11, weren't they from Saudi Arabia?
Yeah. I thought they were. Yeah, that was Al-Qaeda. You're right, Ice. They're Al-Qaeda from. we will squash the terrorists out of Tora Bora, smoke them out of their caves. Right? Isn't that what happened? Isn't that why we went to fucking Afghanistan? Was to fucking
and isn't
disrupt?
That why we had the whole mission accomplished banners?
Yeah. No, that was Iraq.
Okay.
I think it was Iraq. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. We also had what? We were there in Afghanistan to go and fuck up Al Qaeda, disrupt Al Qaeda, and and knock down and diminish them, and go do what? Kill Osama bin Laden, who was where in Pakistan, right? So now that all that's complete, let's go. We're done, right? I mean, there were the Taliban, and all that was saying Did we not make negotiations with former regimes and stuff like that before to have it to have peace or something like that? Did we have like an armistice going on in Korea?
Right. And I mean, like, how many times have we had these talks? Oh, like, not me. Like, I didn't go over there and have some talks, but like, have we had these talks with the Afghanistan government and the Taliban before? Like, what was different this time? Like, okay, they said, all right, we do this like ceasefire.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying.
37 minutes.
Well, and that's what trips me out about all these individuals. Here's what trips me out. Okay, is that these individuals that have never been. And I'm gonna tell you what, Afghan veterans need to go and be part of Congress to be part of this, because individuals that are just chilling in fucking Wyoming, that they're just hanging out in South Carolina. I'm talking about the Representative Lindsey Graham and Liz Cheney. You air your doubts. What have you done to support? These are the same individuals that have been in the government for almost half a century that talk about the government needs to change. The government needs to change. You've been in government that long, right, Biden?
Like, what are you doing?
Right. What have you been doing?
You are the one you are the government. Like,
right.
You
the government. Yeah. So Graham accused the Taliban of violating the deal, saying, quote, always suspicious of the Taliban when it came to any peace agreement, but can't believe that they're this stupid. Unquote. Graham tweeted. He tweeted, because now everyone likes the tweets, right? Adding that the violence, quote, not only violates the spirit of the alleged peace deal, but it also violates the letter of the agreement. That those opium poppies for your big pharma payouts. Can we make those accusations? Or people will say that's fake news or something like that, right? We can like just talk shit, or we can just speculate.
Yeah, they'll
right?
just like do the little fact checker on us.
Okay. The WTF Nation Radio, Ice and Spanky talk about the opium trade and all this other stuff. U.S. military spokesman Colonel Sonny Liggett said in a tweet that Wednesday's offensive strike was aimed at countering Taliban assault on Afghan government forces in the Helmand province. Helmand. He has said that the Taliban forces conducted 43 attacks on U.S. troops on Afghan troops on Tuesday, where the local governor's official and 2 police officers were killed. 4 civilians and 11 troops were killed on Wednesday as a wave of the Taliban attacks continued across the country. So in his account to the call of the Mullah Abdulghani Barandar, a co-founder of the Taliban and head of the political office of Qatar, Trump told reporters that his relationship with Barandar is very good and that the Taliban wants to cease the violence. The White House readout of the call was more restrained. Dude, this is nuts, man. I'm going like, we're done. You had your freaking chance. You're all done with that crap. It's time to go. And it's time to roll out. It's time, Optimus Prime, roll out. You're done. You're finished. So with that, you can't have any. How are you supposed to be able to negotiate some shit like that when they're already going back an agreement? That would be like having an agreement with North Korea. Never mind.
Yeah, let's not do that.
Let's not do that. What's up, Stankus? How you been, man?
Man, I'm doing good, man. And just somehow I knew that I needed to call tonight because I knew you were going to have issues with this.
Uh-oh. What? What issues? What issues do I? Dude, I have the whole subscription. What are you talking about? Issues? What are you talking about?
You know what I'm talking about. Okay. So the Taliban says, "Hey, go to America. We're going to be okay with you." But then we're going to fall back and just smoke the shit out of Afghanistan government forces.
We all knew that. What I'm saying. Everybody knew that, though. Everybody knew that once we left, the Taliban was going to run rampant. Everyone's talking about women's rights and children's rights and how they're going to have equal rights. It ain't going to happen there. As soon as we take off, they're going to start beheading. They're going to start slaughtering the women that were standing up against them. They're going to dissolve the Afghan government. We got squares on this one, right? Did we talk about this before, Spanky? We've been there. We've
been there.
Absolutely.
You know what? And it was, and between you two and everybody else who's ever, who's been involved in this whole GWOT since 2001, right? But we have to know at the end of the day that, it sounds good to go out there and fight for women's rights. Then we should be invading Saudi Arabia, right? And no offense to the women out there, of course, the beautiful, Spankster. But nonetheless, that's not why we did it, right? We went out there to basically destroy Al Qaeda, who smoked, 3,000 of our citizens.
Right. Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. That was part of the whole thing. Like I said before, it was the reason why we want to go there and, we disrupted and destroyed and diminished Al Qaeda's presence, and disrupted the Taliban networks that supported it, and then to go kill Osama bin Laden and, of course, all the high value targets that were part of that support structure. So we're done. We're done with that.
Right.
We really are.
Right. Yep. So I mean, at the end of the day, now we've been basically on the hook for the last 10 years, basically trying to do nation building and government building. Hey, we want to build you up, so that way we don't have to come back and deal with you assholes again. You guys can run it. But I mean, I think if we look historically, and I'm not going to chastise you on it, and I'm not chastising you, but I'm not going to hold it over you. I know you're a man of history, and you've certainly gone back. And you go back to ancient history, Alexander the Great, right? The UK twice, just in modern history, the Soviet Union, and now us. And at the end of the day, I don't know how we combat it, because it's just I don't know, man. I'm kind of with you on it, because we've lost a lot of treasure, and I'd like to see something come out of it.
You said to come out of it. Yeah, I'll tell you what, we can come out of that. We're going to go ahead and what see come out of it is you ever notice that after when we invaded Afghanistan for almost 20 years that there has been an opioid epidemic? You never heard about that shit in the 90s. I never heard about no damn opioid epidemic when I was in the military.
That's a fact.
You didn't hear about no issues with
you're absolutely right.
So I think there's some. You saw the movie War Machine with Brad Pitt, right, on Netflix? When the reason why they don't come in and
loved it. It's a funny movie.
Yeah, I love it. So again, that's gonna suck. It's the good guys in Afghanistan that need to do exactly that. Cause it is. Dude, why is it that we're going there to go? Look, don't get me wrong. We free the oppressed. We bring victory to the victims. I got it. But my biggest point is that we gotta, dude. Is there the men out there? We're talking about the man card, right? Is there any other men? Is there men out there that don't? Are there good men out there that don't want to fight for their own country? That don't want to fight for their own? You know what I mean? That fight for themselves. How could you sit there and talk about honor and also the crap when you can't? When you're running and jumping in a boat across a freaking ocean to some other country, when you can just go unfuck that shit in Syria or Afghanistan? Yeah, I'm pretty sure the people in itself. It's just something we're not going to be able to fix. We're not going to fix. We're not going to bring our values over there. We've been trying to bring some of our values. We've been trying to bring some of our stuff. And I guarantee it, even the people of Afghanistan are probably seeing that bleakness too. They're probably seeing it. They're like, oh shit, if you guys leave and you don't leave somebody here and you don't help us out, we're screwed. Please don't leave.
They are, yeah.
And
that's where at some point in time they themselves have to kind of say, where are we at on this collectively as a society? Are we going to stand and die on our principles, fall on the sword, or are we going to take the fight to the enemy? And, and that's really what it's always boiled down to. And we're talking about cultural differences between that entire region, where the meat eaters who come up and who put the boot on the throat of another guy, right?
Right.
That's the boss, and we all just lay down. Meanwhile, we're fucking surly-ass Americans. We fucking tell you, fuck you. We tell the cop with the baton and the fucking, handgun on his fucking, gun belt, oh, hell you, I ain't going to jail.
Right, yeah, you're right.
We roll in
yeah, that's
America,
how, that's
right?
how, yeah, but I'm saying, but think about how many, again, we weren't able to, we weren't able to solve we weren't able to solve this prize. We weren't able to solve this puzzle. This is a puzzle that we were able to solve. We didn't have the resolve for it, and we got too politicized when it came to some of the things that we had to do to win the war. That was it.
There's no doubt we squandered 8 years. I'm not going to name any administrations, okay? But we certainly squandered 8 years. George Bush took his eye off the ball when Iraq came up, and he saw an opportunity to go after his daddy. This guy wants to kill my daddy. I'm going to show you about nuclear arms. He took his eye off the Afghanistan ball. I mean, we literally had the Taliban and Al-Qaeda on the ropes. And as a matter of fact, I don't even think Al-Qaeda exists. Really, the Taliban, they want to coordinate with us, I think, because of the ISIS, the ISIS elements that are there in that particular.
Well, see, that's the thing. I think I'll be honest with you. That is a giant cripple fight that they need to fight. They need to fight out. This is their moment. This is now. Good job, buddy. This is now. Yeah. Now it's your time to do it. It's time to sack up and go be the man that you said you were going to be and go fight ISIS. This time you go do it. You help us fight. You help us fight Al Qaeda's. Now it's time for you to go fight some ISIS. So there you go.
Exactly. Because the Taliban consider the ISIS guy to be heretics, and so they're mortal blood enemies. So let's see how it works out. But I was listening to and reading some shit that when Donald Trump dropped that big ass Moab on that training ground there, right after he took office, and I think it was like 2017. Guess who fed him that intel? It was Taliban. The Taliban said, "Hey, we know we got a bunch of guys, and they're ISIS. Smoke them." And of course, the generals on the ground were like, "Hell yeah." More crazy ass fundamental Islamists who want to fucking bleed infidels, take them out. And anyway, but nonetheless, I knew, and to be honest with you, I'm not comfortable with it, no more than I was comfortable with, pulling forces out of Syria and leaving the Turkish Syrian Kurds to swing in the breeze.
Yeah, well, don't even get me started on the Kurds. Because the anniversary that don't even get me started on that, man. You're like me and Spanky already riled up about the first hour about that stupid emergency leave shit. Now you're gonna rile us up about the Kurds.
Right. I'm trying to. Not trying to. I'm just saying that from a diametrically opposed situation, if my politics notwithstanding, but if Barack Obama had done it, I'd have been probably hitting the skids, man. And so
they all done it.
If I have a favorable administration that's doing it, I'm not going to suddenly sit down and just be like, yeah, hey, man, no, it's cool, man, because I like this president. At the end of the day, it's all about being, consistent, right?
Right. Well, being consistent with our policies and stuff that we say we're going to do. If you're saying you're going to have you're going to use a specific group or to help us out, in war, then we should be able to pay. We should help them out. We should, recognize them as an independent state. Probably going to get a bunch of crap on Twitter about it. I don't care. But the independent state of Kurdistan. You damn right. I support it 100%. So, but anyways, that's me. We got to go, Stankus, man. It's already top of the hour, and you're like talking my ears off. I didn't even get into word in edgewise.
Yeah, brother. I'm sorry, man. Hey, look, I know you guys are about to wrap up, but nonetheless, it's been a while since I called, and just wanted to pop in real quick. And I know we didn't solve the world's problems tonight, but always good to hear you guys. And
you too, man.
And hope you guys take care, and we'll just keep watching the situation.
Of course, man. That's what we're here for.
All right, brother.
All right, brother. Take it easy.
Y'all be good.
All right, have a good one.
Bye, Spanky.
Bye, darling.
Right, bye-bye.
Later. Oh, man. We got Stank, and of course, he's probably, as, we get something like that, well, Stankus has been kind of like a staple of a ranter with me. So he...
He can rant.
Yeah, we got Stanked, yeah. So that's Stank's, every time he calls us up, you got Stank, so... You got Stanked. There you go. You got Stanked. Anyways... hey, real quick. So you're noticing that we're picking up more on the frequencies of shows. Once we have CQ set up, we're gonna have another show coming up, and it's going to be So once we get them shows rolling up and squared away, it'll be awesome. We're gonna have we're slowly. It is a training program and a half to get a host trained on WTF Nation Radio. It is a process and a half to get a host trained up. So. With that, it takes time. Right now, we have, of course, SGT'S Time today, and then we have Kicking It With Cause and Al, Kicking It With Cause and Al on Sundays, and Monday is the Monday edition. Then, of course, Tuesdays, the Pop Culture Warrior with CQ, and then, of course, myself and Spanky on the freaking on SGT'S Time. So with that, is Botface working in the in the Mixer chat? I haven't seen Botface talking at all.
No, that motherfucker's AWOL.
I'm about to say I have not seen him talking at all. So real quick, once we get some guest schedules up and stuff like that, you're going to see more posts. Again, some of the topics we're going to cover, we're not going to go be when are we going? When do we say we're going to be doing Decision 2020 graphics and stuff like that? When we start talking, we're going to start trolling more presidential candidates to come on.
Right, we needed to let it get down to a couple.
Yeah, a couple. I wanted to talk, because we wanted to have Yang, Gabbard, and Buttigieg come on, but we didn't. They didn't. They're like dropping like flies, man. They're like they don't want. I think that if they'd come on to WTF Nation Radio, I think they would have been able to have a pretty good opportunity to speak their platform because we would have given them an hour. We don't do this 5-minute crap like Fox News does. We don't do this talking over a candidate like all the debates and stuff. Candidates, we would have given you a full hour of WTF Nation Radio. You'd have been all right. You'd have been rocking and roll. You'd been able to give the veteran community your platform. Because currently, right now, it's like what? Who do you have now? It's like it's between Biden and Sanders, right? The two old dudes. Let's do. maybe we should have Sanders come on here and like talk trash talk freaking Biden or something like that. Biden won't remember what happened anyway, so it'll be good to go. I don't care about Biden. That's right, sir. You're right. And then Biden will sit there and snip my hair. No.
Please don't touch me.
Yeah, we're trying to get D-Trees. Yeah, we tried to get D-Trees to come on, and we did get a response that one time from when he was running for office. When he was running for office, Red Leg still had me go out and work the field with Trump's campaign, and we did have a response, but it was more like, yeah, hey, thank you for your interest, and don't call us, we'll call you. Here's the deal. Let us know what you're doing. Blah blah blah. What's your reach and what's this? This is before we started to grow as a station. So now I think we'll be able to throw some deets out to have. D. Treasy just had a town hall meeting earlier today at 18:30. I don't know why we didn't broadcast. Why didn't we share that? We didn't talk to freaking Flash. That's like,
because that's like a dinner time, and we probably forgot. No,
I'm about to say, was it?
I know,
was
I
kind of
didn't watch
snacking.
it.
Yeah, I was doing it until I was giving. I was cleaning up Baby Ice and getting him ready for bedtime. That I was like, hey, it's time for you to go to bed. And I caught a glimpse of it when he was brushing his teeth, and I'm like, oh crap, we could have like kind of talked about that. Yeah, exactly that, cause I want 1 hour with Biden. I mean, I want Biden. No, I don't want 1 hour to Biden. Let me say that again. Phrasing. I want Vice President, I want Joe Biden to come on here to shoot the shit with us on WTF Nation Radio. And I'm glad this is on Twitter. You could tweet it out. We want to talk to him. Everyone talks about you guys don't allow specific guests to come on. No, we want guests to come on to talk their platforms, talk who they are, and all that stuff. It's always been this way with WTF Nation Radio, that we want to talk and discuss anything about it. It's not that we want to disrespect you or troll anybody that comes on as a guest. We want you to tell us who you are. We want to tell us where you're coming from, and we were asking genuine and curious questions about whatever. Could be whatever the subject, could be whatever the guest. So I think it's been pretty good on our policy at WTF Nation Radio and U.S. Army WTF Moments that every guest will be coming on will be treated with respect. Hey, you come on, shoot the shit. All the questions that we're going to talk are genuine questions. There's no trolling involved. We're not there to make fun of a guest or something like that. So again, I don't want anybody to freak out and saying that, oh, you're going to have Biden on there because you're a Democrat. No, we want to have him come on because we will exactly that, because we will talk to everyone. Doesn't matter. We don't care. Come on board. But it has nothing to do with politics as far as taking a side. We just want somebody to come out and discuss a platform. We've talked with the staff.
Right.
All the other hosts have talked about, they're tired, and this is from the veteran community as well, and I'm glad it's on Twitter again. We have had our veterans wanting to know what these candidates are going to do for veterans, but have not come on or have been able to articulate on a show or a debate because they get talked over. They're not given an opportunity to speak. They have their own mainstream media network talking heads talk over them to push their own agendas. We're just going to ask questions, maybe joke around.
Right, and then you just get sound bites.
And you can just get sound bites, or as a matter of fact, you could just say whatever you want. You can interact with that candidate or with that person that's within the chat or that's our guest. I never understood that. Why people get so risk averse when it comes to that shit. Just come on. Shoot the shit.
And maybe that's just it. They're so used to be like trying to push it down to like just a couple minutes. Like, any guest that, Mom or I reach out to, when we tell them how long the interview is, they kind of get hesitant at first. And we're like, we just assure them, I'm like, I promise that sounds like a long time until you are actually doing it. And it's like a conversation. And then they're like, oh, right. Or they'll go listen to a couple other shows,
right,
whichever host they're getting hooked on. And like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
Cool.
Yeah. Well, or I mean, generally, and I tell you what, generally the role when we have hosts, in case anybody or guests wants to come on or something like that, and you want to hit us up at contact@WTFNationRadio.com and say, hey, I overheard your podcast and I want to come talking about my stuff and my wares and stuff like that. But what I will say is this: just you will get, if we've had guests come on that only wanted to talk for like 30 minutes and have literally told me to shut the fuck up or didn't want to talk to me, but I was trying to like pull teeth. I won't talk about a specific sergeant major. There was a sergeant major.
Oh, there was.
Who came on? Not that one. Not Command Sergeant Major Jeremiah Gant. Not he rocks. Sergeant Major Sergeant Major Jeremiah.
Like we could have kept them on for like 2 hours.
We could have kept the Fort Jackson command team on forever. We should have had a longer show. Hell, we should have just given the mics to them. But it was a fun show to do with those two, General Milford Beagle and Command Sergeant Major Jeremiah Gann. Command team of Fort Jackson came on and shot the shit. Well, there was a retired Sergeant Major that came on, and hey, how you doing, Sergeant Major? How things going? Fine. Hey, would you like to talk about? Yeah. All right, so we talk about this. It's good. Yeah, so what does it do? Programs for soldiers. Yeah, but what about this? And, yeah, okay, whatever. And I was like trying to like get him to kind of hype up. I only got him to chuckle one time. One time. You know, when I what did I say? I said something about. I said, "Does your money go far in Korea? Or does your money go far in Korea when you're getting them drinks?" And he goes, "That's all he. That's all he." He was.
I think with that case, and a lot of them, you know, like especially when they're retired and they've never had to do, you know, any kind of public speaking like that before, like they don't have their PAO there to like tell them, you know, hey, it's cool, it's fine, you know, we got this, because you know, like with all the active duty sergeant majors that are coming on, they've already talked to their PAOs.
Oh, right,
they know what they can and can't say.
Right.
They know it's fine to like joke around and talk.
Yeah, they're sergeant majors too. They know what's up. They've been in the Army for a while and a minute to shoot the shit. So it's really funny that
a retired one. That's just like so. I don't know what to say.
Right.
I don't know what to do with my hands.
Yeah. Oh man. So again, we want Tulsi Gabbard. Hell, we even want Mayor Pete to come on. Pete Buttigieg, come on. We'll have him come on. Yang. And then who else? We'll have Vice President Biden. We'll have Bernie Sanders come on with D. Treasy. You know, here's the thing about. Hey, people running for office. Did you know that if you come on and you do it before Trump, you'll be first? Trump,
if you're not first, you're last.
If you're not, Trump doesn't want to be last on shit. So if you, hey D. Treasy, did you know that there's people that might want to come on here that might beat you to WTF Nation Radio? You want to be on WTF Nation Radio? You can come on. I'm just saying, you can come on. See what happens.
I mean,
with that.
Realistically, the Democratic nomination is pretty much between Bernie and Biden now. I mean.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. It's.
I'm really curious to see which one of the two will get it.
Well, so far right now, Elizabeth Warren has dropped out of the race.
Right.
And Bloomberg has dropped out of the race. Buttigieg has dropped out of the race. Klobuchar has gone on the race. So you're right. It's really coming down to.
And I don't even know which one of them won Texas. I know it was so close the last time I had looked the other day.
Beto O'Rourke.
Super Tuesday.
Did Beto O'Rourke win? But anyways, we want you. Hell, anybody doesn't have to be a political candidate. You want to come on and shoot the shit. Like I said, there are gonna be some questions we're gonna ask. There are gonna be some curious questions that we want to ask about you to get to know you. There's no need to be defensive when you come on and shoot the shit with us. I don't think there's ever been a guest where I've hung up on or I've gone off on or I don't think anything. I mean, there was that one time we had Action Figure Therapy coming on, and then we had Doc Madness. He was interrupting Doc Madness, and Doc Madness like, "Would you let me fucking talk, man?" You know, man, that was that one part.
Will you let me finish?
Would you let me fucking finish? Okay, fine, I'm finished. You know, but
no, and I think that was probably the only like hostile environment there was for a guest, and you know, they brought it upon themselves. You know.
Well, yeah, because immediately, right? Because he was,
Mom does an outstanding job,
right?
Of
exactly.
Pairing guests with hosts that they'll at least have something in common. You know,
right.
Like we do our best to do that.
Exactly. No doubt. Again, I'm not going to sit there and beat a dead horse on that. So anyways, the same thing is going to be for another show format we're going to have. I'm discussing with another host of another concept of show. And the way the concept is going to be for this next show, or this next type of show, or next type of guest or host, is we always have Sergeant's Time talking about us. We always have Sergeant's Time about senior leaders and shit like that, right? We are like giving an LPD, and you guys and gals are just along for the ride, listening to me and Spanky going off on how commanders should be talking to their NCOs. Well, this new format is going to be more of this like the Joes. You guys, you know the majority.
I love it.
The majority of the Joes. So it's going to be like almost like you always have. You've been around a smoke pit and you were talking to that one sergeant. You all have that one sergeant. You can tell that one buck sergeant. You're a PFC. You're a specialist, and you're sitting there smoking or vaping or shamming at the smoke pit, and you have that one buck sergeant that you're talking to and all that shit, but you're all a bunch of specialists and privates, and you have that one buck sergeant that's cool. He's like the cool uncle. You know what I mean? He's not mean. He's not like your mean squad leader. Or he's not like your mean platoon sergeant or first sergeant or sergeant major. He is that one buck sergeant that you can lean and say, hey, what about this? Hey, what about that? That's kind of like the format we're looking for. That's that kind of like format.
So like kind of like the Mafia Minute, but in a show form.
Right, exactly. It's gonna be like the Joe. It's like exactly that cause, like a Joe show. But we're working. I of course all the hosts command their own shows, so I work with them to get them to where they need to go. Once that happens, once we get them. Once we get that host set up and all that sort of stuff, then we get that individual up and good to go. Then it'll be fun. It'll be a good thing. So it'll be a dynamic of Sergeant's Time with me and Spanky talking to senior leaders and discussing senior leader issues, and then it's the Joes. It'll almost be like, I don't even think me and you are supposed to be hearing what they're talking about. You know what I mean? I think we're not.
Am I going to be allowed to listen?
I want to say we won't be able to we won't be allowed to listen to the show because it's for the Joes. It's a smoke pit. You know what I mean? Because when you walk up to the smoke pit, right? You remember when we used to walk up by a smoke pit as NCOs in the Army?
Everybody shuts up.
Everyone shuts up, right? All you see is a cloud of vape or smoke float away.
How are you doing, Sergeant Spanky?
Yeah, exactly. Hey, Sergeant Major Eyes. Hey, Sergeant Spanky. How you doing? And then that's like you just see freaking a vape cloud or just it's like just slowly going away across the highway, right? And then as soon as you walk away, they're all talking like fucking heads. You know what I mean?
And it's absolutely true because I did smoke for so long in the Army, and I go outside, because same damn smoke pit that's outside the building,
right?
And they all shut up, like nobody says a word.
Right.
Or sometimes they'll ask.
You can hear, yeah, you'll hear them outside going ha 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 ha, laughing and all that. You're like, I want to see what they're talking about, and then I walk out there. Hey, Sergeant Major, Sergeant Spanky, how you doing? And then just dead silence. You're like, hey. So. And
I really didn't want to know what they were talking about. Even I really needed a cigarette. Like, I'm not in your business.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So that's pretty much gonna be the new format. Once we sit down and decide the format of the show and all that, then we're gonna get that squared away, and then then we're looking at other stuff. Free Doc Madness, man. Doc Madness has been busy. Doc Madness does a lot of stuff. He does a lot of the stuff for Battles in Distress. So we kind of, what's up, Tyler? We kind of leave him alone on that aspect when he's working with Battles in Distress. We let him do that. That's some deep shit. I couldn't do that. I could not. Takes
absolutely.
Yeah, it takes a special kind of Doc Madness to do that stuff. So anyways, that's the theme of that's going to be the main theme of the show. It's going to be like the Joe show. I think it's a good idea. I think it's gonna be fun. Hell, you never know. There might be some Joes like Joes with Joes. So if you're a Joe and you want to, Joe, you can be able to call when there's Joe. You know what I mean? So you never know. I think it'll be a good show. You could listen to us on 15 to 50. Well, I'll tell you what. We broadcast live on 12 and podcast on 18 different platforms simultaneously. You can download us on Google Play, Apple Podcast, listen to the TuneIn app, and then, of course, you can see us our tweets, our Periscopes, our Facebooks, our Mixers, our whatever, and, of course, all the other... God, do we even have... Let me see. Have I ever read off... Did I read off again? Hang on, I haven't read off our platform.
There's so many, I can't keep up anymore. I need a spreadsheet.
I was about to say, I think we need to do that. We need to get some freaking... Shit, you're right. That I was about to say we really don't have. Damn, do we got
like a cheat sheet?
Yeah,
like I can't remember.
I can't remember.
YouTube,
yeah,
there's Twitter. There's here. There's there. Like tune in and like I can't remember them all. Like we're out there.
Right. Yeah. Just search us in WTF Nation Radio. If you Googleize us, because we're your Googleizers, then you'll be able to see. So what else we got? Let me see. What was the? Let me grab my pen and paper here, and let me read off what we have as far as platforms. We are on. Of course, we're on at WTF Nation Radio on Twitch or on tweeters. We're on Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Castbox, Mixcloud, TuneIn, Player FM, iVoox, Mixer, Periscope, Facebook, YouTube, Mob Crush. WTF Nation Radio's website. We're in a lot of freaking podcasts and broadcasts. A lot of them are international too. Paul from Nepal, yo dudes. And our listener out of Taipei, give us some wingdings, dude. We haven't heard from you in a while. But I'm just
Seriously,
saying.
hi Paul.
Yeah, exactly. Hi Paul. Send them, man. Send them tweets. Send them highs and stuff like that. We miss you guys. We want to make sure you guys are all right with all that coronavirus and Hong Kong fucking riots and shit like that. So with that, I think we covered all the bases, right? I mean, we kind of went a little bit over.
Yeah, we do that, especially when we get stanked.
Yeah, we get stank. Yeah, thanks a lot, stank. You stank us. So, anyways,
keeping me up late.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, one last quick tidbit. We'll talk about it next SGT'S Time. It has to do with Space Force. So we're trying to get Space Force people on. At any rate, you all have a good night, and thank you all for joining us tonight on this episode of SGT'S Time, broadcasting live from the Functional Veterans Center of Excellence, broadcasting from the basement of the Pentagon on this 5th March 2020. Y'all have a good night. Shots.
Intergalactic horse, and we'll ride into the sun, yes, into the sun, where we'll take the day by planting a flag right there at its source. Space Force. Now they say that they've discovered life up there on Mars, so let's blow it all to hell and then claim it for ours. We'll paint the moon red, white, and blue for no other reason than we wanted to. Oh, Jupiter, imagine what you could become. A stupid, pointless planet turned into a giant gun. And Russia, so sorry, have to burst your bubble. Be a good sport, now sit back, relax, and watch us through the Hubble as we celebrate the greatness of the United Planet of America. Space Force, Space Force. We'll saddle up our intergalactic horse and we'll ride into the sun, yes, into the sun, where we'll take the day by planting a flag right there at its source. Space Force. We'll go to infinity and beyond, beyond. You'll hear our manly voices singing Space Force strong. The critics say sound doesn't travel in space, to which we reply sound will do as we say. Oh, Captain Kirk, your achievements, though notable and fine, as far as we're concerned, this is Deep Space Mine. And big fans, but Lord Vader, step away from the lightsaber. There can only be one, of course. Space Force. Ra-da-da-da-da-da, ra-da-da, ra-da-da, ra-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-dum-dum-dum-dum, ra-da-da-da-da-da, ra-da-da, ra-da-da, ra-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-dum-dum-dum. Dum, 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 dum. Space Force, Space Force. We'll saddle up our intergalactic horse and we'll ride into the sun. Yes, into the sun, where we'll take the day by planting a flag right there at its source. Space Force.
Good evening, boys and girls. This is Tim Kennedy. I'm a Special Forces sniper, a Ranger qualified Green Beret, a UFC fighter. Please listen to us and the shenanigans that we're going to say. We will insult you. There will be racial slurs. We will be sexist. We will offend you. But there will be magic, and a unicorn will be raped. So enjoy the show. Thank you for listening on WTF Nation Radio.